We got a team from PayQwick for an incredible conversation on the Cannabis Banking 3.0 Enterprise Solutions for MSOs. We are leading this conversation. Playing point guard for our triple threat team is Benzinga's very own Javier. Hasse. Let's hear it for him. Make some more noise for Javier. Let's hear it.
There you go. Last panel. Today, we're going to be chatting with Bob Craig, his CEO of PayQwick, and Joe Proto, board director at PayQwick. Super interesting company, super interesting backgrounds for these behemoths. Joe, welcome to the Benzinga conference. Thank you so much for joining us. I would like to start with a little bit of an intro to PayQwick, and then a little bit on your backgrounds. I know you have a very interesting story.
Great. Well, thanks for having us here. We appreciate all you guys coming as late in the day as this might be. And I'll tell you a little bit about my background first. I think I've had the great experience of working at the intersection of technology and regulatory change, which is exactly what's going on right now in the cannabis industry. And I'll tell a little story that Joe and I got AOL accounts back in '94, and then we got our phones, which I can send you phone numbers, just a few years after that. So we keep working the technology as it comes out, and then we adapt as it keeps moving forward. So, but anyway, I'm a banker by trade. Chase, Wells Fargo is my background. Then I met my friend Joe, and we've done a couple of different startups, technology, fintech kinds of things. Always working with the banks and the credit unions, and helping them realize and adopt the changes going on in the industry. Right now, I came to PayQwick about 3 years ago. I'm CEO, building out the brand and the business. We're working with lots and lots of operators providing banking services, and banks and credit unions providing the technology and reg tech that they need to serve the cannabis industry.
Thank you, Javier, and great to see everyone still here. I'm Joe Proto. I'm a serial entrepreneur in the fintech space and payments. Bob and I have been together, like he said, for 30 years now in different companies. First company I sold to Wells Fargo back in 1992. My second company I sold to First Data in 2000. And the third company I sold to MasterCard in 2019. I just retired from MasterCard November 30th. So what's a serial entrepreneur in financial technology and treasury management doing at a cannabis conference? Well, I'm glad to share with you the journey here. So I knew Bob got involved a couple of years ago at PayQwick, but I really didn't have any interest in industry. I'm not a user. I don't have any passion like many of you do about this particular field. But then one of my best friends, Gene Sullivan, who was an investor in my company that I sold to MasterCard, said to me, Joe, you understand why this is so important. And you could buy weed and nothing's going to happen to you. But the person who sells it to you, oftentimes a person of color, will go to jail for years. And that was a turning point for me. I joined the board of PayQwick 6 months ago. MasterCard was very gracious to permit me to do that, all in anticipation of where the industry is going to move in terms of governance, regulation, compliance, and payments. So, really happy to be here. It's been 48 hours of drinking from a fire hose. Incredibly excited to bring the cannabis industry to the next level of payments and treasury technology.
Well, we're equally incredibly excited to have you. So, it's mutual. Now, let's talk a little bit about banking and cannabis, right? We know that the issues with cash are mostly a thing of the past, but there are other issues in cannabis nowadays. How does the landscape look here from where you work today? are sitting in this particular situation?
Yeah, I think, as you said, in the beginning stages, everything was in cash, and cash was being moved around. And that's still true, especially at the retail level, as there's not very many consumer programs that can apply. But the maturing of the industry is allowing a lot more electronification of the supply chain. There's a little bit more opportunity for banks and credit unions and cannabis operators to work together and move things along more smoothly. So we're going through the evolution like many, many other facets of the cannabis industry. And we look to some regulation relaxing some things to increase the numbers, especially with
And I'd like to build on that point because everybody always thinks about cash at the retailer and how is that going to change once we have national ability to do that legislatively. And the first thing I always say is we understand that MasterCard and Visa will permit payments for anything that is legal. So it's not going to be a long curve before MasterCard, Visa card types are accepted at the point of sale. The day that that is allowed, the next day you'll be able to go into a retailer and use your card. So the cash problem is something that can be solved. The typical industry is already able to take multiple payment types at the point of sale. Unfortunately, this industry has been stymied. But there's also another component, and that's the business-to-business movement of money and data. And so this entire industry has been left out of the ability to use the card rails as another payment type for payables and receivables. And so we have on one hand, the movement towards acceptance at the consumer level, but we have on the other hand, the opportunity to bring financial technology to the business-to-business cannabis space. What every other industry is able to take advantage of that we are not will change.
Now you said you expect Visa, MasterCard, the big card players, to get into the cannabis space basically the day after it's legalized, right?
I mean, here's the thing. If you go to Walmart and you want to buy tobacco or alcohol or guns, the card industry does not make judgments about the product, period. If it's legally allowed, we are going to allow the card that you have in your pocket to be used. Here's a great live example of what we're seeing happening in the card market right now, Javier. When the Russian sanctions took place because of the Ukraine attack, we were told, shut down Russia. Now, Visa and MasterCard, I think our percentage that we publish of our revenue out of Russia is about 6 or 7% of MasterCard. Shut down immediately. Oh, but wait, if you bank with a Russian bank and you're in London and that card issued bank is from Russia, that card got shut down. So you see how quickly the card can move. It's not like it takes a lot of effort to be able to accept card payments in a particular space.
Let me double down on this. How does PayQwick fit into this new world where these big players are part of the industry suddenly? Like, how do you compete?
We're a facilitator, right? In America, we accept more and more payment types, but we never retire any. We have pennies that cost the government more to make than a penny is worth, but we never retire. We still have cash. We have every payment type, and we continue to add more, now including, of course, PayPal's Venmo and the bank's Zelle. So we're not going to see payment types really decrease. Customers want choice, both consumers as well as businesses. And the card companies, Javier, look at what we're doing with crypto. MasterCard and Visa are racing to have crypto right on our rails. again, it's another need type. So it's not something that will be prohibited, it'll be facilitated. We're a financial technology firm bringing governance, compliance, and regulatory assistance to 1,000 CRBs today. That's our goal, to continue to get more states, to continue to get more CRBs.
Okay, so I mean, this is part of a large process of mainstream cannabis, right? And you're doing a big part here. Back in serving it in a way. What can we do to make cannabis banking as mainstream as mainstream banking?
Yeah, I would say that all the things suggested are true, and we expect regulation to continue to increase. But the other thing is that there's a very specialized regulation, and everybody gives the easiest association: alcohol, tobacco, firearms, all that. Very special regulations around that, and banks choose whether they want to be in those businesses or not. And when they choose to be in those businesses, as well as others, like construction lending, like they're very, very specialized things. Healthcare, very, very specialized. Where you cannot buy NyQuil in the PBS without showing your driver's license now, right? Regulation is increasing everywhere. So specialized technology, like PayQwick and like other companies that are serving the cannabis industry, help that facilitate that channel, that smoothness. It's going to continue to be separate and specific. Right? So a small bank and credit union or a very large institution that says they want to do something in cannabis, they have to buy or borrow or outsource the processes and technology to do that. Essential to do that.
Do you envision a future where PayQwick, goes from servicing cannabis-related businesses to becoming sort of a industry of its own, right? In a way, and expands way beyond its current spectrum. What do you envision?
The PayQwick's way forward, the future really is that as we serve more cannabis-related businesses and more banks that want to serve this industry, we believe that eventually the core processors, the ERP players, the merchant processors, the card world will want to add companies like PayQwick. And we're not the only one. There's some really good choices in the industry. We'll all, though, be rolled up. This is not a business that's going to be built in order to bring to different industries. We are riveted, laser focused on cannabis.
And banks and credit unions already outsource all these processes today. Credit cards, auto loans, mortgages, ATMs, cash pickups, they already outsource things that are difficult. They're mostly storefronts. They're mostly retail experiences for consumers and for their businesses. And so what we do is we allow them to service the cannabis market in their community and the cannabis market employees and owners and all the other kinds of things that they want to do in terms of service that they've already set up with their other products. We serve the business side for the bank. So we'll slip into the background very quickly because most operators are going to want to work with the bank in the corner. When they have the relationship, when they have the mortgage bill, they're going to like that. We'll be a technology play just like they've already outsourced many other of these large players, FIS, Pfizer, Jack Henry, for all their other businesses.
I'm very interested and intrigued in your relationship with banks, right? You don't seem to need them, but you still work with them, right? In a mission to become a de facto provider of services for CRBs, right? Like, why is that?
And it's a great question, and it's deeper, and we need more time for it. But at the highest level, this industry has been disadvantaged by not being able to get competitive bank services like every other industry. I've been in this space for 5 minutes, so please, I'm going to say this as humbly as I can. The more opportunities we have to facilitate typical banking services for cannabis-related businesses, the faster, the better. Because there are advantages for CRBs to be able to take advantage of what the banking industry offers, from moving money, data, lending, securitization, all of the things the capital markets all of the things that the widest range of banks offer to every other industry is going to come, and it has to come to this industry as well. But until then, it's a struggle, right? So every one of our customers wants to focus on building a great CRB, but they've got these banking, compliance, regulatory headaches to worry about, and the cost effectiveness, not just the inefficiencies of the way the industry has to operate today, but the costs of it are not competitive with what other industries can take advantage of. And that's the equalizer and the level playing field that we are trying to bring to cannabis.
Now, how do we really convince banks to partake in this, right? Like, cannabis-related fintech and regtech, it's complex. It's complex for us. It's definitely vexing for mainstream traditional banks, right? So, how do we facilitate this?
But banks want to bank good business customers, period. It's not like the banks don't want to bank cannabis if they can get over the compliance and regulatory hurdles. If we can solve that, then the opportunity for banks is as great as it is in every other vertical industry, if not more.
I also think there's a level of transaction verification that we're all doing that can then be shared. And this is more of a further out kind of a thing, but we can say, I know that this bank has a good process, and they're verifying the transaction for CRB 1 to transfer to CRB 2. I know that this file is coming in from somebody who has a good process from a good processor, they're following the rules, they're PCI compliant, whatever it might be, then that's an acceptable transaction. But we got to verify every transaction today that it follows all of our anti-money laundering and other cannabis. We have to make sure that it boxes with metric and others, right, to make sure that that's a regulated and recorded transaction before we process it. Sharing that information eventually across providers, across banks, will provide smoothness to those transactions, like Nacha does for the wire transfer systems.
At my company, I sold to MasterCard. Not only do we have 25 of the top 50 banks, but 5 of them were actually investors. Wells, PNC, TD, Capital One, Fifth Third. Banks want to participate and be able to bring services. They want to be able to lend. They want to be able to treat this industry like every other industry. We just need to give them the tools for compliance, regulatory, security, all of the things that they struggle with. There's just too much brain damage to have a bank be able to serve this industry, and we need to take that friction out.
We often assume that most of the friction would be eliminated by legalization, but we've learned not only from U.S. states, but from many other countries that have legalized at the federal level, that legalization comes with increased complexity. It comes with more regulation, right? How does PayQwick help?
This is a great question. People say to me, well, Joe, you joined the board of a cannabis fintech, regtech business, but once it's legal, you won't be needed anymore. I'm like, wait, do you know the amount of regulations that exist to be able to accept card payments? So it's not that it's going to be less regulation or compliance or information security. It will actually be more, but the industry will have the advantage of having technology partners and banks who help solve it.
Are you a festival at the moment? I'm curious. Interested. It's a self-interested question here. Is PayQwick like open to investment?
Yes, I mean, we're often open to investment. We have a round that's going on now that we're just about to finish. So we're feeling very well capitalized, and our growth trajectories are very, very strong. There's lots and lots of demand from the banking community as things are getting more and more loosened up from the bank management.
I know we're out of time here, Javier, but what we're doing now is I've invested personally. I brought my fintech friends in to invest. And so we're looking at moving more and more to typical banking technology investors. We love the cannabis investors, but we really love the fintech multiples a lot more than we like the cannabis multiples.
Actually, we're out of time, but I really do want to ask you one more question. It's like, why did you invest, right? Like, why did you put your money into this?
Social equity was the driver for me. I'm on 5 other boards. It was really meaningful to me to say, this has been unfair. We need not only to decriminalize it, we need to be able to put all of our weight into not having it be a disadvantage for so many people who've been hurt by the antiquated Richard Nixon war on drugs from 50 years ago.
How can people reach you, both investors, potential partners, customers? Where can we find you?
Yeah, at our website, PayQwick.com, they can find both of us and send us emails, etc.
Fantastic. Thank you very, very much for
Thanks,
joining us today. I think we got closing remarks now.
Give it up one more time for Javier and the PayQwick team.